Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes,
Good
sir.
evening, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Good evening. Good evening.
so today we have to start a new topic, that is mathematical physics. In this section, we will start first with algebra. In algebra, you have to learn 2 or 3 different terms. First, you must have learned something about it in your previous classes. First is quadratic equation. If any of the expression will be like ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0, where a not equals to 0, so this particular expression having degree 2 would be treated as quadratic equation. So how to solve this particular equation? So we'd have mainly 2 or 3 different relationships to solve this particular equation. The first and the most common is to define by using middle term split, in which we take product of this first term with last term. So first of all, take product of A and C. Now, on the base of this particular product, start rearranging that particular product so that the sum of product of AC becomes equals to B. Then on the basis of rearrangement, you can easily calculate the value of X. Let's say if you have x squared minus x minus 6 is equals to 0. Try to solve, everyone.
Sir, how to solve?
Yes,
How to solve?
you must have learned using a middle-term splitting method.
Yes, sir. We have learned, but now I don't remember that much, sir.
Okay, just take the product of the coefficient of highest power to the last constant term. So it will be 1 multiplied by 6. Okay. So the product of A and C would be 6. If you take product 6 and factor it, it will be like 1 into 6 or 2 into 3. It will be like 2 different ways. Now we arrange these different product so that equals to this particular middle term. Now see the coefficient or sign of this particular constant term. Here we have 6 as minus 6. So we start rearranging these two terms in opposite sign, which equals to this middle term. Let's say for this term, 1 minus 6 or 6 minus 1, it will give you 5. Here we have just 1, so we can neglect it. Just move to the other factor. We have 3 and 2. If you take plus 3 and minus 2, or if you take plus 2 minus 3, whether it will be equals to this particular term or not? Yeah, it would be. So we can rearrange this particular term as x squared minus 3x plus 2x minus 6 is equals to 0. Is it clear? Shakir?
Yes, sir. What about the, let's say, right?
Which term? I have just splitted this particular middle term on the base of factor of A and C. Okay.
Okay.
Now take the common between these two terms and similarly between these two terms. So if you take out common as x from these two, it will give you x minus 3. If we take out 2 as common between these two, it will x minus 3, which equals to 0. Since x minus 3 would be common from both these two terms, so it will be x minus 3 and x plus 2 is equals to 0. Now see, we have two different terms and whose product is equals to 0. It would be possible only if either of the two terms would be 0. So we can write x minus 3 would be equals to 0 or x plus 2 is equals to 0. So from here, x would be equals to 3 and x would be equals to minus 2. So these are two different values of x for which this equation would be correct. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, similarly, try to solve the next one.
So can you go to the one that?
Just 1 minute. All of you try to solve the next question.
Okay, sir. I'm trying.
Good, Ikra. Aisha, check your calculation. Good, Sumaira. Mariam, is it your first answer or second answer? So it is wrong. Just check your calculation. So Fan, do you have any doubt in this quadratic equation?
So what do we have to find now?
You have to solve this equation, the second one. X square minus 5x minus 6 is equals to 0.
So by splitting middle term.
Whatever the way you want to.
Okay.
Whether you use quadratic formula or middle term splitting or completing square method. Mariam, it is wrong. Okay. Just 1 minute, Subita. Yes. Sabita, check your calculation.
Sir, can you go a little down? I want to check something.
Yes.
Can you go? Can you scroll a little down? Scroll down.
Okay. Okay. What are you doing?
Sir, I have messaged you my answer, Akin. I guess the
Okay,
problem
good.
was with the sign.
Yes, Safan, your answer is correct. Yes, Aisha.
Sir, I have messaged you, Akin. I guess like there was a problem in sign.
Okay. Okay. Shakir, have you written?
Sir, I'm trying, sir. Please wait.
Let me solve it. Since you have x square minus 5x minus 6, so if you take product of a and c, it will be 6. If you take product of, or if you take factor of 6, it will be 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. Now just see the sign of this particular constant term. Here we have negative sign. So we have to rearrange the factor in two different signs, which equals to middle term. So if you take 2 and 3 in opposite sign, it will give you -1 or +1. But here we have -5. So you have to take these two terms. So it will be x square minus of 6x plus of x minus 6 would be equal to 0. Okay. Now take the common from these two terms. So it will be x minus 6. If we take out x as common, and +1 from this. So it will be x minus 6 is equal to 0. X minus 6 will be common from both. So it will be like this. So equate each term to 0. So it will give you x is equal to 6 and x is equal to -1. Is it clear to everyone?
Sir, how this happens? X into x minus 6 plus 1 into x minus 6. How it converts to x minus 6 into x plus 1?
Just see, we have, if you take product of coefficient of x squared to the last term, that is 6. So it will come out to be 6. Now, if you factor this particular 6, it would be either 1 into 6 or 2 into 3. Okay.
Okay.
Now we have to rearrange these two factors, which equals to this middle term 5. Now, so just see here we have -6. It means you have to arrange these two factors in opposite sign, which equals to -5. So I have taken -6 plus 5 as it gives you -5. Okay. That's why I've written -6x plus x.
No, sir. I'm not asking this.
Yes.
The fourth term I'm asking, the fourth.
This
How it
part.
converts like this, yeah. From x into x minus 6, how it converts to x minus 6.
I have taken common from both these two terms as x. So we're left with x here and 6 here. If we take out common 1 from both these two terms, so it will come out to be x minus 6. Now just see, here we have x minus 6 and here we have x minus 6 common to both these two terms. Okay. So
Okay.
if you take out common from both these two terms, so what we're left with x here and +1 here.
Okay.
Now I have just defined if product of any two number is equals to 0, it means either of the two term would be equals to 0. That's why I've equated each term equals to 0 to find the value of x.
Okay, sir.
Is it clear, Mariam?
Yes, sir.
Shakir, have you done?
Sir, yes, I'm about to do.
Now there is some formula regarding this particular quadratic equation, how to solve it. It would be x is equals to minus b plus minus root under b divided by 2 times of a, where d is called discriminant, which would be equals to b square minus 4ac. So if you want to solve this particular quadratic equation, you may solve it by middle term splitting or by this particular direct formula, quadratic formula. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Have you all written this?
Yes, sir.
Just a minute, sir.
So it's the formula of that quadratic equation we studied in maths last year, right?
Yeah.
Sir, what's
Try to
D?
solve this equation. D
What
is
is D, sir?
discriminant here, which is equals to b square minus 4ac. D is called discriminant. Try to solve this equation. Ikram, have you solved this?
Yes, sir. I'm just about to.
Safan, are you solving?
Yes, sir.
Shakir, any doubt?
Sir, I'm trying.
Okay.
Sir, it is 5x squared plus 12x minus 65, yeah?
5x squared plus 12x minus 65 is equals to 0.
Okay.
Ikra, check your calculation.
Okay, sir.
Mariam, check your calculation. Aisha, have you solved?
Sir, I'm just checking my answer.
Okay. Sabita,
Yes, 24.
send me your answer.
Sir, I am still doing.
Okay.
So can you please explain this?
Which method you have used, whether quadratic formula or middle term splitting?
The quadratic formula.
So first of all, from this equation, A is equals to 5, B is equals to 12, and C is equals to minus 65. So we have to define discriminant, which is equals to B square minus 4 times of AC. B is 12, so square of it would be 144 minus 4 into A into C. Here we have minus 65, so it will become 144 plus 4 into 5, 20 into 165, so it will become 1300. 1300 plus 100, 1444. Okay. Have you all got
Yes,
this
sir.
result? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now we have to put
Yes, sir.
this particular equation. Let's say x is equals to minus b, which is equals to minus 12 plus minus root under 144 divided by 2 times a. So the square root of 144 would be, I think, 38.
Yes,
So
sir.
it will be minus 12 plus minus 38 divided by 10. So we have two different signs, first one for plus and second one for minus. So it will be X is equals to minus 12 plus 38 divided by 10,
26 to 10.
or X will be minus 12 minus 13 minus 38 divided by 10. So with 38 minus 12, I think 26 divided by 10, I think 13 by 5. Good. And the next one is
-5.
minus 50 by 10 should be minus 5.
Sir, I got 13 by 5.
Sorry, Mariam. Okay, I haven't checked it. You may use using middle term splitting method. Just take product of 5 and 65. So it will be 5 into 65. You may break this particular term as 5 into 13. So these two terms would be 25 and this term would be 13. So you can break this particular 12 in terms of 25 and 13. So it will comes out to be 5x squared plus 25x minus 13x minus 65 is equals to 0. So if we take out common from these two terms, it would be 5x plus 13 and x minus 5. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just write it down. Shakir, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
I've just solved using middle term splitting as well.
Sir, can you solve it in this method?
Which method?
And now which you wrote in black.
This is middle term splitting method in which I have taken product of first term and last term and then defined its factor, which equals to middle term, that is 12.
Sir, I'm asking if you can solve it again. I want to check from beginning, please.
Let's say you have 5x squared plus 12x minus 65 is equals to 0. So you have to take product of first term and last term. So it will be 5 into 65. Just break this particular 65 instead of taking the whole product. So it will be 5 times 13. Now we have 5 into 5, which would be equals to 25. And the next part is 13. So we can write 25 into 13. So if we subtract these two terms, so it will be equals to 12. So we can write this particular term as 5x squared plus 25x minus 13x minus 65 is equals to 0. Okay.
Okay.
Now, if we take common as 5x from both these two terms, so we're left with x plus 5 here. And if we take out minus 13 common from both these two terms, so it will be x plus 5, which will be equals to 0. Now, if we further take common from both these two terms as x plus
Sir, it's
5.
x minus 5.
No, since we have plus here, so it will be x plus 5. So we're left with this part. Just equate each term to 0. So it will be minus 5. And if you equate this particular term to 0, it will be x is equals to 13 divided by 5. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Done, Shakir?
Just a minute, sir. Done, sir.
Okay. The next part in this particular mathematical section is to define series. In class 10th, you have learned arithmetic progression. Arithmetic progression, in which if a series increases or decreases by difference of a common term, that is called common difference. So it will look like A as first term, A plus B as second term, and so on to nth term as A plus n minus 1 into D. So this particular expression, whether D is in positive sign or D is in negative sign, this particular series will succeed or decrease depending upon. Now we have to define sum of this particular term, for which we have formula sum of n term is equals to n by 2 to A plus n minus 1 into D, or we may write it as n by 2 times A plus last term, that is nth term. Similarly, we have another series that is called geometric series. Like in this particular AP, we had a D, which is called common difference. In this particular geometric series, we define a term which is called common ratio, which is represented by R, which is equals to next term divided by its previous term. Okay. So in this particular series, the first term would be A, R would be common ratio. So we define nth term as A times R to the power n minus 1. Similarly, to define its nth, Snth, it would be A times R to the power n minus 1 and whole divided by R minus 1. Now, if you want to sum of this particular series up to infinity, it comes out to be A divided by 1 minus R. So in this whole physics, we have to use only this formula. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just write it down.
Done, sir.
Wait,
Done,
wait,
sir.
wait, wait. 1 minute.
Safan, is it clear to you? Sabita?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Answer.
Done, sir.
Shakir, done?
No, sir. Done, sir.
Okay. Find the sum. 5 plus 1 plus 1 by 5 plus so on to infinity. Just check about this particular sequence, whether it is in AP or GP, and on the basis of which define sum. Try to solve, everyone.
Sir, what is the last term?
Infinity.
Okay. A will be the first term, yeah? A.
Yeah.
What about D?
I have defined you in above section. We would have two different series. First one would be AP, in which there would be a common difference, which is called D. So D is equals to next term minus previous term. So we call this particular D as common difference.
Common difference.
Like for this particular geometric series, we define a term that is called common ratio, which is represented by R, which is nothing but the ratio of the next term to the previous term. Okay. So just compare in this part whether this particular series is in AP or GP, and on the basis of it, try to sum.
Okay. Okay, sorry, sir. What about N? No, sir.
Here we have infinite term. Okay.
N is infinite term, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ikra, check your sign.
Yes, sir.
सर जरा ऊपर जाइए.
Safan, what do you want to ask? About the common ratio.
Sir, is my answer incorrect or just the sign?
Let me check just 1 second. Good, Sumaira. Your answer is incorrect, Ikra. No, it's correct.
Sir, can you please solve it once?
Okay. Shakir, have you solved?
No, sir. Sir, actually, I didn't understand the geometric series.
Just say we have this particular series and we have to define whether it is in terms of AP or GP. So to define whether it is in terms of AP, so we have to calculate D, that is common difference. So D is nothing but difference of two consecutive terms. So it will be
A2
1
minus
minus 5.
4, yeah.
So it will
1
be minus 4.
minus 4.
So if you take the difference of next part, so it will be 1 by 5 minus 1. So it will be minus 4 by 5. Whether these two differences are same or not?
Not same.
No. Okay. So we can say this will be not in OP. Now take common ratio for any two consecutive term, which is represented by R, 1 divided by 5. So this will be the ratio for two consecutive first two term. Similarly, take the ratio of next two consecutive terms. So it will be 1 by 5 divided by 1. So it will be 1 by 5. Now see whether this term and this term are same or not. Shakir,
Yes, sir, same.
are they equal? Okay.
So,
So we
sir,
can
can
conclude.
you show again this ratio part?
I have defined this particular series, whether it is in terms of AP or GP. So to define in terms of AP, we must have to calculate the common difference between two consecutive terms, for which I have taken common difference between first and second. Just see A2, which is equals to 1, and A1 is equals to 5. So 1 minus 5 would be minus 4. Similarly, if we take common difference for the next two consecutive terms, is it 1 by 5 minus 1. So it will comes out to be minus 4 by 5. So just compare, are these two difference same or different?
Different.
So we can conclude this particular series is not in AP. The next term is to define whether they are in GP or not. So for which we have to define common ratio. Common ratio is nothing but the ratio of two consecutive terms, A2 by A1. That's why I have written A2, that is 1, divided by A1, that is 5. So it will be 1 divided by 5. For the next term, A3 is 1 by 5 and A2 is 1. So it will be 1 by 5 divided by 1. So it will comes out to be 1 by 5. Now just compare, are these two common ratio equal or not? Shakir? Okay. So we
Yes,
can
sir, very
conclude
close.
this particular series would be in GP. Now, for this GP, as it is extending up to infinity, we had a formula S infinity is equals to A by 1 minus R, where A is first term, which would be 5, and R is common ratio, which is 1 by 5. So just put these two values in this expression and try to obtain S infinity. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Try to solve.
Sir, can you check my answer?
Good, Mariam. Your answer is correct. Aisha, is it clear now?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, common ratio means we should divide the number from the previous number, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to take the ratio of A2 by A1 or A3 by A2 and so on. Safan, check your calculation. We have A is equals to 5 and R is equals to 1 by 5. Sabita, have you solved?
Yes, sir.
Send me your answer. Check your calculations, Sabita. Just see, here it would be S infinity is equals to A, which is 5, divided by 1 minus R, which is 1 by 5. So you have to take LCM of these two terms. So we can write 5 divided by 5 by 5 minus 1 by 5, which would be equals to 5. If we take 5 to be LCM for these two parts, it would be 5 minus 4. 5 minus 1, that would be 4. This 5 would move to the numerator. So it will become 5 into 5 divided by 4, which would be equals to 25 by 4. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir, I get the answer 25 by 4,
Okay, good.
but I didn't
Sabita?
get the division sign in my laptop.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Is it clear?
Sir, I got the same answer. I just divided it.
Safan, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have just defined how it would be different series. The next term is to define trigonometry. You must have learned in your
This
class.
method you will use in physics, yeah?
Yeah. The next term is to define trigonometry. You must have learned something about trigonometry in your class 10.
Yes.
Let's say if you have a right angle triangle, perpendicular, hypotenuse, and base, for which we have angle theta. So opposite to this particular angle, this side would be called as perpendicular, and adjacent to this particular theta, we call it as base, and the longest side of this particular triangle would be called
Hypotenuse.
as hypotenuse. On the base of these three sides and this particular angle, trigonometry says it will define you relationship between angle corresponding to their sides. So to define that particular relationship, we have maybe 6 different trigonometric ratios. First, which is sine theta, cos theta, and tan theta. And the reciprocal of this would be cosec theta, sec theta, and cot theta. Sine theta is equals to perpendicular by hypotenuse. So cosec theta would be equals to hypotenuse by perpendicular. Cos theta is equals to base by hypotenuse. So sec theta would be equals to hypotenuse by perpendicular. Tan theta would be equals to perpendicular by base. So cot theta would be equals to base by perpendicular. I think you all have to remember this whole. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sir, just a minute. Sir, can you go a little up?
Just 1 minute. There would be different formula such as tan theta is equals to sin theta divided by cos theta, or cot theta is equals to cos theta divided by sin theta. Now
Okay,
there
sir.
is, yes,
Can we use the same method when we put the theta in 90 degree? In right
Tell me
angle
again.
triangle mode?
Yes.
I'm asking.
We will define the value of each particular term on the basis of different angle later. I'm just defining the ratio of these corresponding trigonometric functions or trigonometric ratios.
Okay.
Now, on the basis of which we have certain identity. First is sine square theta plus cos square theta is equals to 1. You may move any of these terms to the other side, so it will become cos square theta is equals to 1 minus sine square theta, or sine square theta is equals to 1 minus cos square theta. Similarly, we have sec square theta minus tan square theta would be equals to 1. And third term is cosec square theta minus cot square theta is equals to 1. So these are certain identity related to each trigonometric ratios. Now the next part is to define values regarding different angle. The next term is you must have learned values from 0 degree to 90 degree only. But from this class onward, we have to define all of different angle, and we have to define the value of sine 120 degree, sine 150 degree, and so on. So how to calculate those angle and values for those angle and defining that. Okay. For which you have to learn something. First, let's say we have 0 degree, 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree, and 90 degree. So to define its value, just count number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, divided by 4, and take square root of each term. This value would give you the value for sine theta. First, 0 by 4 would be nothing but 0. So sine of 0 degree would be 0. 1 by 4 under root will become 1 by 2. 2 by 4, it would be 1 by 2. And if you take square root, so it will become 1 by root 2. Similarly, it will become root 3 by 2, and it will become 1. To define cos theta, just move each value in reverse form. So we have 1 here, put it here. So it will be 1. It will be root 3 by 2. It will remain same, 1 by root 2, 1 by 2, and this will be 0. For tan theta, take the ratio of these two terms. So tan theta would be equals to 0, 1 by root 3, 1, root 3, and 1 by 0 is nothing but infinity, or you may call it as not defined. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just write it down, this whole table.
Done, sir.
Can you scroll up?
This part.
Again. Okay, wait. Okay, you can scroll down. Later. Okay. Science.
Shakir, done?
Yes, now you can scroll down again to the values.
Shakir, done?
No, sir.
Done, sir.
Okay. Now to define the rest of the whole part, for which I have to define, let's say you have x-axis and y-axis as this. This is your first quadrant, this is your second quadrant, this is your third, and this is fourth. If you draw a triangle in this particular quadrant, let's say, so this would be your theta. This is your positive x-axis and this is your positive y-axis. So base from this point to this point would be in positive. Perpendicular would be in upward direction, so it will be positive. And hypotenuse is nothing but square of sum of base and perpendicular, so it will be always positive. So if a triangle would be forming between these two quadrants, or we can say from 0 degree to 90 degree, all of its values would be positive. So we can say all trigonometric function or values of all trigonometric values between 0 degree to 90 degree will be positive. So we can write all are positive in this first quadrant. But if you draw a triangle in this quadrant, let's say this is your theta. So with respect to this particular theta, you have to move from origin to left hand side. So base would be negative. Perpendicular, as it is going upwards, so it will be positive. And hypotenuse is nothing but square of sum of base and perpendicular, so it will be always positive. Now just see in this particular triangle, here we have perpendicular positive and hypotenuse positive. So the all trigonometric ratios, whose ratio containing perpendicular and hypotenuse would be positive, rest of the whole term would be negative as they containing base. So the ratio of perpendicular and hypotenuse would be sine theta and its reciprocal, that is cos theta. So we can write sine theta and cosec theta will be positive in this quadrant. Rest of the whole term would be negative. Similarly, in third quadrant, tan theta and cot
And
theta
cos
would be
theta
positive.
will be positive. In
And
this
in
cos,
fourth quadrant, cos theta and sec theta would be positive. Rest of the whole term would be negative. So to remember this whole term, just remember after school to college. So A is first quadrant, S sine theta means second quadrant, T tan theta means third quadrant, and C cos theta means fourth quadrant. So on the basis of their respective quadrant, I have defined you which of the term would be positive in the corresponding quadrant. Is it clear to everyone?
yes, sir.
Okay, just write it down. Here A means all, S means sine, T means tan, and C means cos.
Done, sir.
Okay. Safan, do you have any doubt in this part?
No, sir.
Aisha,
No, sir.
Shakir, done?
Then,
Yes.
sir.
Now, the next part is to define on the basis of change. Let's say if we have this is your horizontal line and this is your vertical line. So we can define the change on the basis of horizontal as well as vertical. So what do you mean by horizontal and vertical? I am defining it. This is your 0 degree. So this is 90 degree, 1 degree, and this is 270 degree, and this will be again 360 degree. So you can define the change on the basis of vertical line or horizontal line. I'm suggesting you to define all of its change on the basis of horizontal line only. So let's say we have 0 degree or 360 degree and 1 degree. So if you move in anti-clockwise direction, angle would be positive. If you move clockwise direction, so angle would be negative. So from this point to this point, we can write plus theta, or we can write 360 degree plus theta for the first quadrant. Similarly, if you move from this point to this point, you are going in clockwise direction. So in this quadrant, angle would be 360 minus theta. Similarly, from this part, if you move in anti-clockwise direction, it would be 180 plus theta. But if you move in clockwise direction, it will be 180 minus theta. Is it clear to everyone? I have just defined each quadrant on the basis of angle of horizontal line. Okay.
Okay.
So on the basis of this part, we have a relation on horizontal line. There would be no change in trigonometric function. So what it means, I'm defining it. Suppose if you have to calculate the value of sine 120 degree. First of all, try to write this particular value in terms of 180 degree or 360 degree. So we can write this particular 120 degree as sine of 180 degree minus 60 degree. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now just see this part. This part is defining you nothing but horizontal line. So this will tell you nothing but horizontal line. So I have a relation on horizontal line, there will be no change in trigonometric function. It means if you have sine, it will remain sine. And the next part is 60 degree. So we can write there would be no change in this particular trigonometric function. So it will be remain sine and put this particular theta to it. So it will be sine of 60 degree. Now the next part is to define whether this particular value would be positive in that given quadrant or not. Just check. Here we have 120 degree. It will lie in second quadrant. And as we know from this section, in second quadrant, sine theta would be positive. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So from here we can conclude for this part, it would be positive of sine 60 degree. Now sine of 60 degree is equals to root 3 by 2. So we can write plus of root 3 by 2. So this will be value for sine of 120 degree. Is it clear to everyone how I have got this result?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Safan, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just write it down.
Done, sir.
Shakir,
Yes, sir.
any doubt?
No, sir. Clear.
Done, sir.
Shakir, done?
Done, sir.
Try to solve. Find the values of first tan of 135 degree, second cos of 120 degree, third sine of 210 degree. Good Ikra, good Mariam. Good Aisha. Good Mariam. Shakir, any problem?
No, sir, I'm trying.
Good Mariam.
Sir, I sent you number 1. Can you check just if it's in the correct way? I can go through that.
Just think again.
Yes, sir. Means it's wrong, yeah, number 1. Oh, yes, sorry, sorry. Sorry. That's correct, yeah. I will send in marks.
Good Aisha. Safan, Samaira, send me your answer. Sabita. Samaira, check the polarity.
So now I have in second one.
Ikra, check your sign.
Okay, sir.
Good Aisha.
Sir, I have sent you second and third.
Your third answer is correct.
Second,
I've sent you.
both answer.
Good Safan. Good Samaira. Sabita, send me your answer.
1 minute, sir.
Okay. Samara, check the sign of third answer. Good Ikra. Good, Samira. Shakir, just see, you can write this particular first part in terms of 180 degree as tan of 180 degree minus 45 degree.
Sir, I get your
Yes,
answers from 1 and 2. 1 and 2 was wrong from my side. Third one I sent, is it correct, sir?
yeah. You have to define its value, okay? So you can write this particular term like this way. Now, you have 180 degree, which will define you nothing but horizontal line. And on horizontal line, there will be no change in this particular trigonometric term. So it will be remains tan 45 degree. Now just see in which quadrant this particular value of 135 degree would lie. I think it would lie in second quadrant, and in second quadrant only sine theta and cosec theta would be positive. Rest of the whole term would be negative. So we can write minus of tan theta. Okay. Now the value of tan 45 is 1 and we have a negative sign. So we can write that as minus 1. Is it clear, Shakir? Sabita? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, if you can write this particular cos of 120 degree, it will be cos of 180 degree minus 60 degree. 180 degree will define you nothing but horizontal line, and on horizontal line there will be no change in its function or term, so it will remain cos theta. Now check in which quadrant this particular value would lie. So it will lie in second quadrant, and cos would be negative in second quadrant, so place a negative sign. So it will be minus, and cos 60 is 1 by 2. So it will be minus of 1 by 2. If we do the same for the third part, you can write sine of 180 degree plus 30 degree. So we can write it as sine of 30 degree, as this value would lie in third quadrant where sine would be negative. So we can write minus of 30 degree. So the value would be minus half. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Safan,
Yes, sir.
Shakir,
Yes, sir.
have you all written? Shakir, done? Shakir, have you written?
Yes, sir. I thought I have written that.
Okay. Now the next part in this particular trigonometric term is to define sum or difference of any two different angle. Let's say sine of A plus B. Sum or difference of two angles. First part is sine of A plus B. It will be sine A times cos B plus cos A times sin B. If there will be negative sign in between, it will be sine of A minus B, which is equals to sine A cos B minus cos of A times sin B. Now, if A and B are equal, let's say if A is equals to B is equals to theta, we can write it as sine of 2 theta. So this term and this term would be equal. So we can write 2 times of sine theta into cos theta. Now just see, we have 2 theta, then it will become theta. So if we can write this particular as theta, so it will be 2 times sine theta by 2 times cos theta by 2. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So just remember these formula. Similarly, we have next for cos theta as well. Let's say cos of A plus B, which is equals to cos A cos B minus sine A times sine B. Similarly, if there would be negative sign, so it will be cos of A minus B cos A cos B plus sine A into sine B. Now, if A and B are equal, then we can write if A is equals to B is equals to theta. So from this part, we can write cos of 2 theta, which is equals to cos square theta minus sine square theta. We may further simplify it to define only in terms of sine or to define only in terms of cos. So we may further define as cos of 2 theta is equals to 2 times of cos square theta minus 1, or cos of 2 theta would be equals to 1 minus 2 times sine square theta. If you move this particular one to the other side, it will come out to be 2 times cos square theta is equals to 1 plus cos theta. If we move this particular sign to the other side and 1 plus cos to the other side, it will be 2 times of cos square theta is equals to 1 minus cos 2 theta. Now just see, we have 2 theta, then we have theta here. Similarly, if we have 2 theta here, then we have theta here. So if we make this particular 2 theta as theta, so this particular theta would become theta by 2. So similarly, we can write this particular term as 2 times of cos square theta by 2 is equals to 1 plus cos theta, or 2 times of sine square theta by 2 is equals to 1 minus cos theta. So remember this part and this part. Is it clear to everyone? Shakir,
Yes, sir. Yes, very clear.
Safan,
Yes, sir.
okay. Shakir, have written.
Yes, sir.
Done, sir.
Done, sir. I raised my hand, sir.
Then, sir.
Try to find this one, sine of 15 degree.
Find sine of 15 degree, yeah?
Yeah. You may write this particular term as sine 45 degree minus sine 30 degree. Take this particular term as A and this particular term as B and use the difference formula. Try to solve.
Sorry, I have told you my answer.
Your answer is correct. Mariam, your answer is also correct. Good, Samira.
Sir, I sent.
Put their values and simplify it.
Okay, okay, sir. Wait.
Subita, check your calculation. Safan, send your answer. Good, Ikra. Good, Safan. Just see if we break this particular term as sine A cos B minus cos A sine B. Sine 45 is 1 by root 2 multiplied by cos 30 root 3 by 2 minus cos 45 1 by root 2 sine 30 1 by 2. So it will be root 3 by 2 root 2 and it will be 1 by 2 root 2. So it will become root 3 minus 1 divided by 2 root 2. You may rationalize this particular term by multiplying and dividing by root 2. So it will become root 6 minus root 2 divided by 4. As done by Safan. Okay. Shakir, do you have any doubt?
No, sir. No. Now it's clear for me, sir. Thank you.
Good.
So if we write root 3 minus 1, that answer, is it necessary we have to rationalize it?
No need to rationalize. You can left it here as well.
Okay, sir.
Or here. Now just remember some property for theta less than 30 degree. Sine of theta, tan of theta would be equals to theta itself if it is calculated in terms of radian. Okay.
So could you repeat?
If your angle is less than 30 degree, then sine of theta, tan of theta would be equals to theta itself if theta would be measuring in terms of radian. Let's say if you have to calculate sine of 20 degree. Okay, so just write it will be equals to just theta. So we can write 20 degree, but we have to convert this particular degree in terms of radian. So for which we have to multiply it by 1.71 into 10 to the power minus 2. Then it will be converted in terms of radian. So it will become 2, 4, into 1, 2, 2, 7, 14, 3. Here we have 2 place decimal and here we have 1 0, so we can move to this point. But here we have exponential as minus 2, so we can write it as 0.342. So sine of 20 degree would be equals to nothing but 0.342. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, what's the
Yes, sir.
question?
You have to convert sine of, or you have to calculate sine of 20 degree. Okay.
Okay.
So how you will solve it? So for if any of the angle which is less than 30 degree, then sine of theta, tan of theta would be equals to theta if theta would be measuring in terms of radian. Then if I have to solve sine of 20 degree, just write it this particular angle in terms of degree, and I have multiplied it by 1.71 into 10 to the power minus 2. I have defined use in last class, I think. or if you don't know how to convert degree into radian, let's say for degree measurement and for radian measurement, there was a conversion formula, degree into pi by 1 into degree. It will convert it in terms of radian. There is further smaller division of this particular degree, like such as for time, 1 hour is equals to 60 minutes and 1 minute is equals to 60 seconds. So we can write 1 degree is equals to 60 minutes and 1 minute is equals to 60 seconds. So to convert these angles in terms of radian, 1 degree would be equals to 1.71 into 10 to the power minus 2 radian. 1 minute is equals to 2.91 into 10 to the power minus 4 radian, and 1 second is equals to 4.85 into 10 to the power minus 6 radian. Just remember these values, okay? So from this particular relation, since 1 degree is equals to 1.74 into 10 to the power minus 2 radian, that's why I have multiplied this particular degree by this particular term to convert into radian. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Shakir, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Find tan of 15 degree. Try to solve, everyone.
So what is the question?
Find the value of sine 15 degree. You have to convert like this way I have done. Don't use the above formula.
We have to find tan 15 degree, right? So
Yeah.
So we have to find this as we found sine 15 degree, right?
Yeah. Good, Mariam. Good, Subita.
Sir, which method do we need to use?
You have to use this method. For a
So,
small
sir,
angle,
One
if theta
instant,
is
sir, I have to do it again.
so sir, instead of 20, we write 15 over there and solve, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, sir, is my answer correct?
Where you have sent your answer? Just see.
Sir, I have
Let me
sent.
see. Yes, Mohammed Shakir, your answer is correct.
Thank you, sir.
Aisha, your answer is correct. Safan, where you have sent your answer?
Sir, in the
Yes, your
chat
answer is
box.
correct. Your answer is correct. So, do you have any doubt from this whole topic to anyone of you? Samara, have you solved?
Sir, why
Good.
are you teaching this?
This will be useful in your upcoming or different sections. That's why I'm defining the whole term.
We will use in physics, yes, sir.
In your whole vector form and in motion straight line, laws of motion, in the whole of different topic, you have to use sine 15 degrees, sine 29 degrees, sine 25 degrees, and so on. That's why I have defined it. Okay.
Okay.
Ikra, just see, since we have this particular 15 degree, which is smaller than 30 degree, so we can write it as 15 into 1.71 into 10 to the power minus 2. Okay, instead of solving with the formula. Okay, just multiply it to get the result. So this is all about this particular trigonometric section. In next class, I will define you calculus, that is differentiation and integration. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Bye,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye bye, sir. Have a nice day.